Hi there, in this video I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Keychron B1 Pro keyboard. I'll be going over its build quality, the overall feel of the keyboard, typing noise and more. I mainly bought this to use with my iPad for when I need to do a lot of typing on it. The one I got is the space grey version, but there is also a white version of it as well. I got it from Amazon for around £35 at the time of making this video. Before I go any further, I'd just like to add a little disclaimer that this video is not sponsored by Keychron or any other company. I paid for this keyboard myself and no one else has had any say in what I put in this video. With that out of the way, let's start with unboxing it. Beginning with a quick look around the box, there's an image of the keyboard on the front, then we've got some compliance stuff on the top edge, the part number and description on the right, the serial number on the front edge, the Keychron logo on the left, and then some key features listed on the back. Now let's open this up and see what's inside. First up, there's some stickers, followed by a quick start guide. Then there's a user manual. To be honest, I think we only need one of these. Then we have the keyboard itself. I'll just put that to one side for the moment. Below that, there's a USB-C to USB-C cable. It's roughly 1.5 meters or 4 feet 11 inches long. Following that, there's a USB-C to USB-A adapter. And finally, the 2.4 GHz receiver, which has a USB-A connector. There's nothing else under the cardboard, so I'll pop that to one side and take a look at the keyboard itself. Once it's out of the bag, the keyboard has this silicone protective cover on. It's easy enough to take off, but it can be a little bit fiddly to get back on if you want to use it. I don't particularly have a use for it, so I'll just pop it in the box later on. The one I have is in the UK ISO layout, but Keychron also offers it in other layouts as well. A quick tour of the keyboard. It's a 75% keyboard, which has 77 keys for this layout, so a few keys are missing. For example, the home and end keys, so if you need them, it's likely not for you, although there are some keyboard shortcuts for those. If you do need those keys and maybe the number pad, have a look at the Keychron B6 Pro, which is the full-size version of this keyboard. Along the top edge, there's the USB-C port for charging and wired-only connections. Then there's a switch to change between the Mac and Windows layouts. Mine arrived in the Windows position, so I'll switch it to Mac later on as this is the layout the iPad uses. Next to that is another slider to select the connectivity mode, the middle positions for the wired mode, or off if you're using it in one of the two wireless modes. Slide it to the right for 2.4 GHz wireless mode, or to the left for Bluetooth, which uses Bluetooth 5.2. You can pair the keyboard with up to 3 different devices using Bluetooth if you want. The keyboard weighs in at around 425 grams, or just under 1 pound at 0.94 pounds. There isn't a lot of flex in the main area, and it doesn't twist much. I was trying hard to twist it as much as I did. One of the downsides of this keyboard is that it doesn't have a backlight on it, so if that's something that you need, this isn't the keyboard for you. The stated battery size is 800 mAh, with Keychron indicating it could last up to 8 months on a wireless connection. I'd take that with a pinch of salt though, as it will depend on how often you use it. Lastly, there's no height adjustment options either, so bear that in mind. To connect the keyboard to a Mac, you can use any of the 3 connection types that the keyboard has. The 2.4 GHz wireless dongle though may require a USB-A to USB-C adapter if you only have USB-C ports on your Mac. First, move the slider for the mode to Mac instead of Windows. This will remap some keys, such as Alt and the Windows key, to be Command and Option. For wired use, plug the cable into the port on the keyboard and then the other end into your Mac. If needed, you can plug the cable into the USB-A adapter. Set the connection slider to the middle position and that's all you'll need to do to get it to work. For 2.4 GHz wireless, plug the dongle into your Mac to begin with, and then move the connection slider to the 2.4 GHz position and you should be good to go. No pairing is required as it's set at the factory. Finally, for Bluetooth, first open the Bluetooth settings on macOS by going to the Bluetooth icon in the menu bar on the top right and click on Bluetooth settings. Then move the connection sliders to the Bluetooth position on the keyboard. Following that, press and hold the function key, followed by either 1, 2 or 3. You only need to press one of those. You should notice a blue light on the top right of the keyboard come on. The keyboard should then appear in the nearby devices section in Bluetooth settings. Release the function key and the number you pressed, and then click on Connect next to the discovered keyboard. Follow the on-screen instructions if any appear, and you're done. Oh, if you're using one of the wireless connections and you want to turn the keyboard off, just move the connection slider to the middle. To connect the keyboard to an iPad or iPhone, again, you can use any of the 3 connection modes. The 2.4 GHz wireless dongle will require an adapter as there's no USB-A ports on either the iPad or the iPhone. To start with, move the slider for the mode to Mac instead of Windows. Again, this will remap some of the keys like the Alt and the Windows key to be Command and Option. Although an iPad and an iPhone isn't a Mac, they do use the same keyboard layouts as a Mac. For wired use, plug the cable into the port on the keyboard and the other end into your iPad or iPhone. Set the connection slider to the middle position, and that's all you need to do to get it to work. Be aware though, the keyboard battery does charge whilst it's plugged in. For 2.4 GHz wireless, plug the dongle into a USB-A to USB-C adapter or a dock that has a USB-A connection. Plug the USB-C side into the iPad or iPhone and then move the connection slider to the 2.4 GHz side. At that point, you'll be good to go, and again, there'll be no pairing required, just like on the Mac. Finally, for Bluetooth, first open the Settings app and then go to Bluetooth. Then, move the connection slider to the Bluetooth position on the keyboard. Press and hold the function key, followed by 1, 2 or 3. Again, you only need to press one of those. You should notice a blue light in the top right of the keyboard come on. The keyboard at that point should then appear in the other devices section. Release the function key and the number you pressed and then tap on the keyboard it found. Tap on pair and it should show that the keyboard is connected. As you can see, it's working fine on my iPad. Also, some of the function keys along the top also work as normal, but not all of them. There is one last thing I want to point out about Bluetooth. If you pair the keyboard on multiple systems by Bluetooth, be they a Mac, iPad, iPhone or Windows device, you can switch between them by pressing the function key and then either 1, 2 or 3. It will, however, though, disconnect the keyboard from the one it was previously on when you switch to another system. And one last point to note, the Keychron Launcher application is not supported on iPad or iPhones. There's no app in the App Store either, so you'll not be able to do any customization or firmware updates with either platform. Which leads me on to the Keychron Launcher. So what is Keychron Launcher? Well, it's a web-based tool that allows you to customize your keyboard and perform firmware updates on it. If you want to use it, you'll need a Chrome-based browser such as Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Opera. There is no support for Firefox or Safari. It does work on Mac or Windows. To use it, connect your keyboard to your PC or Mac first. I'd recommend using the wired connection for stability purposes. After that, click on the link in the description and then click on Connect. The keyboard should then be listed. Click on it and then click on Connect. The main customization you can do is to set up certain key bindings. Some examples include such things as opening certain apps or performing a particular function. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, as I've previously done a video that goes over it in more depth, which I'll link in the description and as a card. Overall though, nothing much has changed, but there will be some differences, such as backlighting not being an option, as there's none on this keyboard, but there is on the K10 Max that was used in the video. Now, in terms of the feel of the keyboard, the overall typing experience is fine. If you're used to a mechanical keyboard, it will feel a lot different, but if you're used to a laptop style chiclet keyboard, you'll not notice much, if any difference at all. The keys are square and they're slightly concave, which makes for a nice feel. I have in the past used the Logitech MX keys and the feel is similar, but that keyboard's keys felt smoother to the touch versus the B1 Pros, which feel a little bit more rough to the touch. That may change with wear over time though. The key travel is fine and they're not too stiff to press on. As for typing noise, here's a sample of me typing with it. You can judge for yourself on how much noise it makes. So to conclude this review, I'd say that the B1 Pro is better than I expected for the price point. It's not on the same level as say the Logitech MX Keys Mini, but that is more than double the price. The nearest Logitech offering to this is likely the Pebble Keys 2, or the K380S as it's sometimes called, but I don't like the feel of the rounded keys. They just feel weird to me. If you are looking for a slim keyboard to use with a Mac, Windows PC or iPad, this is a pretty good option. I've not had any issues with it, but I'm still not keen on the Keychron Launcher software. The last time I ran it was roughly a year ago and nothing much has changed about it. I would still prefer to have an app that I can install locally to configure the keyboard, and that was the view I had when I tried it out with my K10 Max originally. The only other thing, and I'm really nitpicking here, is when you're using it in wired mode and the battery is fully charged, the LED for the charging indicator stays on. It would be nice if you could have an option to turn it off, but that's a minor gripe. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. If you got value out of this video, please like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to know when I release another video. If you'd like to see some more reviews just like this, I have a playlist with more here on the left, and on the right there's a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.